talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment.
I like a little vanilla in my life, and I might one day be a white dude's wife. That's alright. Yeah, I got a type. Some people don't like it, but the swirl is the hype. When I see a cute guy, I always gotta think, is he down with the brown? If he is, we about to link. And I ain't talking about the TikTok boys looking for clout, cause we can see right through the facade. Gross me out. I wonder, will he ever like me back? Imagine liking white boys when you're black, especially when you're from the south. The guys that like me are yeehaws with tobacco in their mouth. My celebrity crush, my little cinnamon bun. Ooh, that boy's the one, and I'm still not done. I never met him, he never met me. If he ain't down with the brown, what he about to be? But I digress. Y'all never mind the rest. I just like what I like, speaking from the chest. But hit me up if you're looking for a black girl, cause you know that this girl is down with the swirl. I'm just saying.
Okay, how's everybody doing tonight? Good to see everybody. Happy Saturday night. It's been a little while since I've been up here. Last Saturday, right? um, I just want to say welcome everybody. Um, Tonight I got some things I want to talk about. Okay, and I'm going to go over some areas. I'm going to go over some categories. Okay, we're going to talk about swirling. We're going to talk about divestment. We're going to talk about pro-black, white privilege, and swirl to investment. I got some videos I'm going to show you, and I'm going to hit on the truth and the propaganda. Okay. And within these groups, I'm going to try to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I think. Am I going to be absolutely right? Probably not. Okay. But I think I'm going to be pretty accurate, though. I'm pretty confident on that. I want to welcome everybody. Pinky Wells, good to see you. Brent, you know you're wrong for that. The picture represents pro-blacks. That's just pure ghetto. Well, yeah, it's probably a little much, but it's a sector of the pro-black community, right? The hip-hop version. Okay. I'm going to talk about that. Maybe I should have did more professional. Maybe Umar Johnson. Maybe a Hotep version. I don't know. Or maybe a business class. We don't want to offend nobody. Of course, when they do pictures of me, they put KKK and crap on there, but that's okay. Yeah. Hey, good to see you, Diamond Lace. I'm glad to see you're here. Dust Divester over 47. A ninja without a shirt, his arm raised over her face. Okay. All right. All right. Diamond Lace, just wanted to let you know your channel is been a breath of fresh air. It's so good to hear kind words and thank you so much. And uplift from honorable men towards Black women. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. Okay, I'm gonna get to the videos, and but I'm just reading some of the comments. Beverly, good to see you. Good morning. Brent and Sandy, God bless you and your beautiful family. Oh, thank you so much. Winnie, good to see you. Diamond Lace, I agree. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. CCKP, good to see you. Noletti. Okay. Oh, and Beverly, I did show my wife that channel. Okay. Yeah, I did do that. Okay, so she did see it. All right. Glad to see everybody. All right. All right. Now I'm going to put the copyright disclaimer. I put it up before the intro or after the intro, but I'm going to put it up again. Okay. Okay. Add to the stage. All right. And this is a copyright disclaimer. Okay. We're going to be using these videos for commentary, for educational purposes, and for opinion. Some of the videos that we're going to see, I'm going to have a counter opinion. Okay. A little bit of a disagreement. Okay. And I think everybody should be heard. And I'm not here to bash nobody. Okay. I just want to give my opinion, my thoughts. And, whenever a group is being attacked or people are trying to show them in a negative light, we do have the right to defend ourselves. Okay. I'm going to be mature about this. I'm going to be respectful. Okay. But anyway, fair use, fair use. Okay. I try when I use people's videos not to go in, unless they go in on me and my family, then they're fair game. But I try to be reasonable. I understand people don't agree with me. Not everybody does. I understand we got our own opinions, and that's fine. I got nothing against anybody with a different ideology, a different opinion than me. Okay? As long as you're respectful to me and my family. That's all I ask. Okay. All right. All righty. Before I start, I want to show you some comments that I get, some love from my troll fans. Okay. And sometimes, believe it or not, guys, I get sometimes more views from people that hate me than people that love me. Not always, but sometimes it happens. Okay. And I show comments every now and then what I get, what people say about me. And that's fine. I keep them and let you guys know what I get. Sometimes I'll get negative emails every once in a while. They usually don't attack my email, I guess, because I could trace it. But if they say their opinion, I could care less, whatever. But these are some of the things that some of the comments I've saved. Okay. And this is what people tell me. And this person is Caesar the Great. All right, Caesar the Great. All right. And this is his opinion. Interracial dating and marriage and mixing is a sin against God. No, it isn't, but that's his opinion. It's an abnormal, it's an abomination, it's a sin in the Bible. No, it isn't. There's been interracial marriages in the Bible. Read your Bible, Caesar the Great. We black Hebrew Israelites, okay, it's a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, that makes sense. Are forbidden to be in relationships with Adamites and marry and have they kids. All right, whatever. Believe what you want, but people that are believers can be together. I'm a Christian, my wife's a Christian, okay? And the scripture says when we're born, again, we are as one. So, yeah, put that to rest. But that's attacking my relationship, my religion, my faith. Here's another one. August Williams Jr., okay? I'm going to ask a real question. Do black treat other races differently? U.S. culture is brainwashed to respect white men more than media influence. I call BS on that. Actually, in our society, white people, especially white men, were conditioned to have self-hate, to feel guilty, and to be trained that we're an oppressor and, to be shameful of who we are because of generational sin. But if you look at the whole world, we all have generational sin. But, okay, I'm going to disagree. I don't think it's built in our society. Back in the day, it was. You'd be right. Maybe 40, 50, 60 years ago, but not in today's world. I disagree. But that's okay. You can believe that. No problem. All right. Now this one, Mr. Brent. Okay. He said, Mr. Being respectful. You are a colonizing devil scum trash. Okay. All right. All right. I guess I'm a colonizing devil. And I'm scum and trash. All right. I could tell this dude has big love for the Roadrunner. Okay. Howard U5B. Okay, and this says a lot of them choose them, but don't marry them. There's a big difference. Plus, most of us black men know that black women will behave totally different with white men. A perfect example is in the workplace. They present themselves as submissive, cooperative, while resenting a black man in the same position. I know for a fact that sexually, that they will happily do the most vile and disgusting things for white men, even thank them for the opportunity, but let a black man request the same things, and the response will be, you nasty, and worse. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Vile, what are you talking about? Vile and disgusting stuff. Obviously, this guy is one of them black male fetishizers. That's thinking sexually. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what he's talking about, but that's his belief. Okay, this is what people send me. Okay. It's funny. I mean, they call me a colonizer, racist, Klan member, slave owner, fetishizer, colonizer, all the isers there are. And I could care less. Whatever. Um, but that's what I get. I mean, okay. But I don't let it ruin my day and get mad. I mean, I've been called a racist ever since I profess my love for black women. So I guess that's the new racist, a man that loves black women. Okay. But that's what I get. Okay. Let me remove some of this. Okay. This is what we're going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. Truth and propaganda. We're going to be covering swirling, pro-black, divestment, swirl to investment, and white privilege. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you my opinion. Does that mean I'm absolutely right? No. Most of the time I am right, but not always. I'm human. Okay? And this ain't to offend anybody. This is what I'm going to tell you based on what I've been told from black women, black men, white women, and my observation and my life experiences. Okay? Now, you can disagree, okay? And I'm okay with disagreement. But okay. So what is swirling? Swirling is interracial dating, okay? And it could be considered interracial marriage, but what I call interracial marriage is investment. And that's why I say swirl to investment. But if you're a white guy married to a black woman, you'd be considered a swirler. A black guy married to a white woman would be a swirler too. Okay? And they call Asian with Hispanic swirler, different ethnicities, they'll refer them as swirler. But when we talk about swirling, we think about black and white people. Okay, that's usually what comes to mind. Swirling can be a beautiful thing, or swirling can be a bad thing, depending on how you swirl. Okay, if you're swirling for an experience, a sexual desire, I would say that's wrong. But if you're doing it because you love that person, by all means, swirl. Okay. Pro-black. Okay. Now, I'm going to be careful when I talk about that, but this is what I think of pro-black. It goes in different categories. Okay. You can be pro-black and just want to see black people do good, be successful. And in that situation, if you just want black people to do good and be successful, I would say I'm pro-black then. And I would say I'm pro-Mexican. I'm pro-Asian. I'm pro-everybody. I'm pro-white. Oh my God, I said something racist. Okay? I'm pro-people. Okay? I want to see people do good, but I want people to do right. Okay? Now, if you just want to see black people do right, that's pro-black. Okay. That's not a problem. But if you're pro-black to where you think you're superior over other people, that I have a problem with. That's kind of like pro-white, white supremacy, believing you're superior. Well, we got black people that are black supremacists that think they're superior. Okay, that's another part of pro-black. Okay, now pro-white, we're not allowed to be pro-white because it's racist. We're not allowed to love ourselves. And I know that sounds funny, but we're conditioned to believe that. Serious. And you talk to white people, you ask them, are you proud to be white? They'll be like, hesitate. Oh, well. But if you ask a black person, oh, yeah, I'm proud to be black, right? White, you're racist. Kind of a double standard, but that's the conditioning today. And a lot of white guilt is poured into that to get us to that point. I think we should be able to love ourselves, embrace ourselves, but not think we're better than others. Okay. All right. All right. Now, divestment. What is divestment? Okay. Let me get up here real quick. Divestment. Okay. There's a lot of people that get divestment wrong. Okay. And I've had to research it to really understand it. And you know, I could be wrong. Okay. Divestment is a Black woman's movement. Okay. Black women are going to a safe place. They're leaving the culture, the community behind to get to a safe place. And a lot of people assume divestment is interracial dating. Okay. No, it's not. It can lead to that, and it does in many times. Okay. But that's a Black woman movement. Some people have called me a divester. I'm a white man. I can't be that. Now, I do support divestment 1000%. I think Black women should be in a safe place. And if they have to leave the culture, the neighborhood to be safe, they should be able to do that. Now, some people say, well, what if white women divested from white men? I would be for it too. Okay, I'm for freedom of choice anyway. Okay, do you? Okay, I don't expect people to love me because I'm here. Go where you want to be, where you're loved and celebrated. Okay, but divestment is more than an interracial dating thing or marriage. Okay, it's pretty much Black women going to a safe place. And yes, leveling up, but it's about a lot of times safety and healing. Okay? All right. Now, swirl to investment. Okay, we know what that is. I kind of cut off the investment. Swirl to investment. That's taking your interracial marriage to, or taking your interracial dating to marriage. Okay. People say, can a Black man and white woman swirl to investment? Yes, they can. Okay. It's not limited on white men and Black women, though I do talk more about Black women and white men because that's the group I'm in. Okay. And when I say white men, that means Asian, Hispanic too. Okay. It's kind of a generalization, and we kind of get used to it as white people generalizing. We don't call ourselves English or French or German, or we don't do that. No, we just say white. Okay, and that's okay because white people in America got such a huge mixture of Europeans. You can't really claim one anyway. So it makes sense. Okay. That's what we're going to cover. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to show this video. Okay. And I'm not going to show the whole thing, but this young lady is pro-Black. I think she's against interracial dating and, of course, divestment. And she tries to put a spin on it where she's given an image like she's objective, right? But I find a problem with it. Okay. And I'm going to show you and I'm going to break it down. Okay. And I'm not going to come up here and bash this young lady. It's whatever she wants to believe is fine. But, you know, sometimes we got to do our side of the story, okay? And tell the truth. But anyway, let's go ahead.
Is still popular.
Okay, she said divesting is still popular, okay? All right, let's hear this.
Divesting is still popular, online at least. The idea
Oh my God, divestment is still popular. Whoever thought? Wow. At least online.
continues to live on and thrive, oftentimes taking on new forms, catchphrases, reinventing itself, and popular social media trends. But there is one thing that keeps divestment alive and well, and that is hope. The hope that one day.
Let me stop here. Now she's showing these pictures of Scandal and Karina. I don't think those are divestors. I would categorize that as swirling. Okay. Interracial relationships is not divestment. Once again. And there are divestment channels. If you want to know what it is, you can listen to them. Okay. You probably go on their channel and ask them, what's divestment? They'll tell you. They tell you all the time. Just because a white man and black woman are, that ain't divestment. That's an interracial relationship. That's a swirl. Okay? But she's saying divestment product because black women are still holding out hope. Well, why wouldn't they? And divestment, a lot of women that have divested, they leave the community, the culture, everything, and they move on. Can they end up being an interracial relationship or marriage? Yes. It happens quite a bit, but that's not what divestment is. Okay, let's continue.
A struggling black woman will be able to level up out of her downtrodden and difficult black life and find herself in a better socioeconomic position next to a handsome, successful, and rich white man. The fantasy assumes that this rich white man will be able to provide her a Cinderella lifestyle, a big home in a gated community, house cleaner, maids, nanny, a daily routine complete with Pilates and green smoothies, and of course, vacations every month. What these ladies desire is a more comfortable life, or at least a baby with light skin and quote unquote good hair, but
okay, let me stop. A lot of generalization here. I don't believe black women are that naive to think that they get with the white man, they're going to live in riches and luxury and have nannies and vacations every week. And that's not why black women divest. That's not why black women swirl. Okay? The reason black women open up their options or divest is they're looking for a better option, a better situation in their life. Something that's more healthy, more secure. Okay? And black women ain't going around saying, oh, I get a white man, I'm going to live in riches and luxury. Okay? That's a big generalization. Black women just want something that's better. Okay? And let me tell you, okay, let me drop this off the screen. Let me tell you what black women are trying to get away from. Okay? Not all, but a lot of them. Okay? I'm going to show you some stats here. Okay? Why would a black woman divest or open up her options? Number one, black women outnumber black men by over 2 million. And then throw in the incarceration rates. Throw in black men dating and marrying out. Okay, the numbers are not in black women's favor. Number two, only 30% of black men are married. Only 27% of black women are married. So if a black woman wants to be married, according to the numbers, she pretty much has to either lower all her standards, date and marry down, or open up her options. That's why a lot of black women are opening up their options because the numbers are not in their favor. There's a lot of black women that want to have love, want to have marriage and a family. Okay? Black adults have the highest divorce rate, lowest marriage rates too. Okay? They're not leaving because of a fantasy. They're leaving for a chance to have a relationship, a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage. Okay? Over 70% of black women are not married. I mean, come on. And this is according to the Census Bureau data. Okay? All right. And Pew Research. Now, number 4, according to the Census Bureau data, black wife, white husband marriages have the lowest divorce rate, and they are the longest lasting. Could it be that black women are looking for something new? Could it be that black women just want to be loved and have a husband? Could it be that black women are tired of carrying the load? Could it be that black women are tired of being the breadwinners? Could it be that black women are tired of being single mothers, holding out for the good black man? Or are they just living in a fantasy that all white men are rich and their life's going to be easy? Now, a black woman could end up marrying a rich white guy. It does happen. Okay? But reality, black women are not going to look for money. They're going to look for someone that's going to be a good husband, a good partner in their life, and someone they could depend on, loves them, that loves them back. Okay? I think that's really what's going on. But hey, the numbers don't lie. Black women are better off marrying white men than staying race loyal. I know that's going to angry people. I know that's going to upset people. But it is what it is. Now, can that change? Yes, if men hold themselves to a standard, if men could be humbled and see the problems they have in their life and do better and put women and children first and quit trying to be the prize and quit trying to see what women bring to the table. And how about you bring providing, protecting, and finances to the table? The only thing a woman should bring to the table is her love and her loyalty. That's it. All right, let's get back to the video. Sorry, guys. I had to just throw some stats out there because some people think that divestments, oh my God, the grass isn't greener over the hill. You should just stay where you're at. No, actually, the grass is greener over the hill in this situation. But you don't have to believe me. Look at the numbers.
Either way, they just think getting with someone who isn't black is the way out of their struggles, whether it be financial, social, romantic, or all of the above. And by divesting, the belief is that these black ladies will be able to escape the worst aspects of, quote, Blackistan, unquote.
Okay. First of all, a lot of these ladies that I've talked to, the reason they opened up their options, the reason they divest is to get to a safe place. And when they open up their options, they don't do it because they think the guy's going to be rich and it's easy life. They just want a better chance at a relationship, at a marriage. Some black women don't want to roll the dice and hope they find that good one, that unicorn, that diamond in the rough. A lot of black women are looking at this and say, hey, this ain't favoring us. And it's not. First of all, and how many times have you seen black women being told, you need to do better? You need to be more submissive. You need to lower your options. If he pays a light bill, oh my God, he's a good man. He at least tries to and pays a light bill and maybe buys you lunch. And that type of rhetoric is dangerous. Okay? I'm just saying. But she believes it's a fantasy, and they're just self-hating, and they just go to the white man thinking they're going to live in luxury and wealth. No. Most black women understand that not every white guy is rich and has money and a lot of wealth. But statistically, white men do have more wealth. White men do have longer lasting marriages. White men are more secure when it comes to finances. Okay? And when it comes to the traditional men, there are more traditional white men than black men. Well, there's more white men, period. Okay? So maybe they're looking for somebody that loves them instead of somebody that looks like them. But I'm not mad at her. She could believe that. Find you that good black man, love him, and you could cape for him. That's fine. But I'm going to counter this argument because it's false. Okay? Black women ain't that naive to where they just believe white men are going to just be perfect. Okay? Now, maybe some black women might see the stats and say, well, if I get a white man, it's going to be great. Well, no, you still got to vet. You still got to know who you're dating. Okay? Just like I say, black women are the best option, which they are. Okay? But I still have to vet because there's evil people in every group. Okay? Just common sense. Let's continue. I'm not going to show a lot of this, but anyway.
Such as the dusty, down low, no good, lazy, and degenerate black man and his pick-me female counterpart. The idea is just too fantastical and magical to give up entirely. But I want to introduce you to another side of this level of fantasy.
Okay. All right, I'm going to stop it here. Okay. She's going to talk about a black woman that went to a prep school when she's a little girl, lived in the suburbs, a good town, and and things didn't go right because she was a black girl. And okay, I'm not going to get into that. If you want to watch her video, go ahead. You know who she is, and if you're pro-black, go subscribe to her channel. But anyway, I just wanted to counter this because black women ain't going thinking white men are rich. Not every white man's rich. We got poor white men, we got middle class white men, we got wealthy white men, but there's more stability. And I say this because I've seen it in my family and I've seen it within the community. From what I see, white men are generally more traditional than black men as a whole. Okay? Now, there's always an exception. And what makes black women and white men relationships work is a lot of black women are traditional in their right, and they want that family dynamic. And being that black women and white men are the leaders in our communities, and we're held accountable the most, it tends to work better. Okay? When you got two people working, hitting the ground running, it's going to work. And another thing, us as white men, when we get the opportunity to be with a black woman, we embrace it, we cherish it. We don't look at it as we're entitled, we look at it as a blessing. And black women are amazing. And I know black women go through a lot. Black women have a lot of emotions because they have a big heart. Okay? And black women that love you will do anything for you. Okay? And sometimes I feel guilty. I mean, my wife is so amazing to me. I feel guilty, like, you're not required to go this extra mile. But she does it because she loves me. She has character. And that's how black women are. And more white men are seeing this. And look, I think us as white men get the better part of the deal than black women do. I believe that. But when we have to compete for the black woman, and we might think we don't have a chance. When we do, we embrace it, we cherish it. And I think that's a big difference. Okay? Let me go ahead and pull this video down. But I hate when people generalize it and say, well, black women, it's not, the grass ain't greener over the hill. You're just chasing a fantasy. Well, in reality, black women have a better chance at marriage and a longer lasting relationship when they open up their options. And truth be told, us white men do better when we open up our options, whether it be with Asian women, Hispanic women, or black women. And we do the best with black women. That should tell you the character of black women. But we don't want to admit that. We want to live in our segregated mindset and believe the person best for us looks like us. No. In fact, when it comes to black women and white men, that ain't true at all. And I look at the number like, wow, white men and black women need to open up their options. Pro-black means pro-black male. No thanks. I believe that because it's crazy. It's like I've seen on social media where people will attack a black woman. White men, I've seen every now and then, not many, but there'll be one that does it. And it seems like there's no backlash or very little. And nobody's coming for them. But the minute you say something negative about a black man, whether it be true or not, they're coming for you. Yeah, I get attacked for just reading out stats. It's like they got that privilege. They can say anything racist towards you, but you cannot defend yourself or respond. That's how it seems. But I'm going to respond and I'm going to tell what I think. But anyway, but that's the stats. Marriage, black women, your marriages last longer when you open up your options to white men. And in fact, your marriages are better when you just open up to non-black men. White men, when you open up your options to non-white women, you do better. And it's ironic. But when black women and white men come together, we have the longest lasting marriages. Okay, we have the lowest divorce rate. And the only thing people can say about us is like, well, you're the least likely to get married. Yeah, that's true. But it's increasing every day. I'm not here for the numbers. Black women are not my preference because I believe most will like me. No, black women are my preference because they have the most character, they have the most love, they're the most loyal, they're the most spiritual. That's why they're my preference. It has nothing to do with my success rate with dating. And men are stupid. They'll go for somebody else. A lot of white guys, well, Asians love white guys, so let's go with Asian. No, you go with who is the best option. And you might not be their preference. And that's okay. Anyway, let's continue. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show a black man. He's calling black men the white people of the black community. It was kind of interesting. But is he having accountability or is he just saying crazy stuff? You make the call. Let's listen.
Are the white people of black people. We are the entitled, largely uneducated, flamboyantly problematic group that offers that everyone else is the problem but us. We think that we should be the leaders of the black community without actually taking responsibility for negative things that happen within the black community. We offer that it is everyone else's fault that things don't work but ours. It's society not respecting the black man. It's the black woman not respecting the black man. It's the feminization of the black man. It's the masculinization of the black woman. It is the black woman choosing the wrong black man. It's the LGBTQ plus community trying to indoctrinate the black man. Everybody else's fault but ours. And if anyone steps outside the pocket to remind us in any way, shape, or form that we might be able to do better, then they're bashing black men. And don't get me wrong, things are hard for us as black men, but that doesn't give us the right to pretend like things aren't hard for other people, like we don't make things hard for other people. That's what white people do.
That's what white people do, make things harder for others. Yeah, he had some accountability, okay. So what he's saying is white people are the least educated, most flamboyant. So he's saying black men are like white people because white people are the worst. Did you catch that? I was like, oh my God, this black dude's having accountability. And but then it's like the enemy is default the white man, the evil one. But anyway. Okay. All right.
Out, this rate would decrease.
Okay, let's see this video. I think I showed it before, but it says why black women should date white men. Let's hear this.
If more women dated out, this rate would decrease. Not to mention when black women marry white men, they have a high success rate. Most white men value family, whether you're starting your own or if it comes pre.
She's saying most white men value family, whether it's your own children or you bringing children into the family. I will say this. White men are more open to women with children than black men are. In fact, we can see that on social media where black men are telling other black men, don't be with a single mother, don't do it, don't do it. Don't be sipping on her. She's a single mom. But if a white man loves you, he'll take on your children. And I've seen white men marry black women and adopt her black children. So it's not that white men are racist, like we get that title. Actually, white men are pretty reasonable. Most of us are. And if we love black women, we'll take you on and your children. We have a more sense of family, even if the children aren't our own. Okay. Now, I don't have stepchildren. All my children are with me and my wife. But if my wife had children, I would have married her because I love her. Okay. Black women that are single mothers, look, your best shot is to open up your options. Okay. Or else you're going to get these Kevin Samuel type dudes that like, well, you're damaged goods. You already have children, so you should just give it up and be happy that a man's interested. No, 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 no. Single mothers have to be the most picky, have to have the highest standards because you're bringing a man in and you have children. And no woman is damaged goods because you have children. That's disgusting to say that. Okay, but that is true. And stats bear it out. Okay. Now let's talk about colonization, because a lot of times we're called colonizers. Okay, I haven't colonized nothing but my backyard, but okay. They say I'm colonizing black women. Really, I'm only with one black woman. But I guess because I promote interracial relationships, I'm trying to take them from black men. Well, black men aren't marrying black women. So what's the problem? I don't know. Okay.
do an academic study.
Okay. With that young lady, I did a review on her beginning of her video. This is the woman that she put in there. Okay. And what she has a problem with is she went to an all-white prep school and they didn't teach her slavery the right way. And I guess she had some hurt, probably some cultural differences. I don't know. But anyway, this other black woman has a different aspect in it. Okay, let's go ahead.
Someone needs to do an academic study on the outcomes and the experiences of young black girls who go to predominantly white prep schools.
Y'all, this was my experience, but I have a different perspective. Because in this video, she's talking about her story on how there is so much psychological trauma that is associated with the black person going to a PWI, predominantly white institute. And this is 100% true. But as a black person having gone to a PWI, my experience was really positive, and this is the reason why. I was constantly surrounded by diversity. My friends were white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, international, from high socioeconomic classes to low. And I bring that up to say, I don't think the problem is the institution that you are attending. I think the problem is the lack of diversity. Because I have a lot of black friends who went from PWIs to predominantly black institutions and experienced trauma in a new way. Whether that was being bullied and ostracized by their own community, increased exposure to violence, colorism. I say all that to say, cultural adjustments are going to cause new stressors. And regardless on if you go to a black institute, a Hispanic, predominantly white institute, I think trauma can be linked to cultural isolation when you're not surrounded by enough people in your culture, but also can be linked to cultural deprivation when you're not surrounded by enough people outside of your culture. When we start fostering environments of diversity, I think that's when true healing will begin.
What do you think about what she said? I agree with her. And that's the thing. We have to be, well, when we separate ourselves and then we come together, there's going to be a culture shock. It's just natural, okay? Especially with children. When black children are around black kids, black family, and then they're around white kids, it can be, oh, where are the people that look like me? They can feel uncomfortable. Even if nothing's going wrong, right? White kids too. And I think that's right. When we can have a diversity, I think we can understand each other better. Healing can happen. And we don't fear each other or have hate or animosity with people we don't even know or understand. You know, and I think a lot of it is people get a culture shock and they're afraid. And it could be what they're taught. If you tell a person that white people are the devil and they're evil and racist and all this stuff, when you put them around those people, they're going to be scared. They're going to have fear. They're going to be like, oh my God, I'm around all these racist people, which they might not be racist, but you've been told that. And it can happen with white children, like maybe they're around more black people, like, oh my God, I heard they're violent and gang members, and oh my God. But when you live around people, you get to know them, you get to understand them a little bit. You realize that people are people. And I think that's how she looked at it. You know, and I would say this, usually, from what I've seen, usually black women that grew up in a white neighborhood, they could deal with white people easier. They could date white men a lot easier than black women that been in predominantly black neighborhoods. I'm just saying. Now, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but my wife grew up in an all-white neighborhood. And she tells me that. Like, it wasn't, even though I was the first white guy she dated, her church was a black church, but they lived in a white neighborhood. But there wasn't that fear of me being racist and a fetishizer and all this. She just knew I was a good guy and we love each other, right? Anyway, let me drop this down. Good video. Okay, now let's talk about the workplace, because white men are racist, right? That's what we're told. They're the enemy. Anything that's gone wrong in society, in the world, it's the white man's fault. So if you're in the workplace with a white man, what do?
White women.
Okay. Let me center this.
This might come to a shock to you because it was to me, but as a black woman, my biggest ally in the corporate space has been white men. I know. I've been told my whole life that my biggest enemy as a black woman, as a young black woman, are white men, specifically older white men. But in my experience working with both white women and white men bosses, I found myself, my personal experience, to be safer professionally and personally at work with white men. And it was definitely a bitter pill to swallow. My first few jobs were women bosses, and I wanted to look up to them. I mean, I still look up to them, their professional success, their successes as women, but I just felt like entering those spaces, I was guilty until proven innocent. I felt like I was hired to do a job and then I was entrusted to do that job. I felt like there wasn't really a lot of direct feedback. I felt like I was always messing up secret rules that I wasn't aware of, but they were very clear to them. And I just felt like, just in general, like I was always messing up. And then I would start messing up because you're in this sort of like psychologically difficult place. Now I work with a 2 white men supervisor. One of them is an older white man. And I'm giving so much freedom and space to do my work that at first I was a little bit nervous. But now I'm realizing how much good work you can do when you are trusted at work, when you're not being psychologically attacked by things not relevant to work and sifting through that in order to do your job. And just in general, feeling much more championed and safe as a woman of color. And granted, it could also just be like I locked out with this organization, like I get that. But I've also heard stories of my friends who are women of color just having difficult experiences working with other women, specifically white women, where they just feel like it's not professionally or psychologically safe for them to work there. And so when I first started working with white men bosses, I was like, this is definitely gonna be a change, but I was definitely nervous because some stories I've heard in the past of egotistical bosses and all that stuff, I definitely didn't get that. And before this job, I also worked with another white man boss, and he just also made it very psychologically safe to work there. He was very empathetic and vulnerable, and I just was shocked because that's not what I was told, at least. And so if you're a black woman, a woman of color in the professional space, and you want to enter a team, but you're nervous because it's a white man boss and you don't know how that's going to work, you may be surprised.
Wow. You know what? I've heard that too. I've heard that black women, that white men tend to be reasonable to black women. And I've heard that white women are harder to work with, that black women have more of a hard time working with white women bosses than white men. I would say that's probably true, because probably the white women feel like they're in competition with you. And, it just, I don't know, I've heard that. But what's crazy is with my interracial marriage, it seemed like my grandfathers were more open to me having an interracial marriage than my grandmothers. Now, none of them spoke against it, so don't get me wrong. They weren't, they just felt some kind of way, but they were respectful. Nobody ever was disrespectful to my wife, because in my family, we don't do that. But I know there was some issues, okay? But I've heard this. And ladies, what do you think? Is this true? Now, I'm not a black woman, so I can't verify it, but I've heard it. And maybe another woman feels threatened by having a woman working under her. And maybe her being a black woman, it's like, maybe that's where the problem comes in. And I'm not saying all. I'm sure there's good white women bosses that treat black women well. I don't think they're all just, but I think it's a competition thing. You know, but tell me what you think. Black women are the best one to speak on this because they know. All I could do is tell you what I heard. Okay. Now let's talk about colonization a little bit, because this thing has been a thing. I've been called the colonizer. What is that? Is it colonizing another country, another community for the resources? We've seen in history where countries will rise up and attack other countries and take the resources and colonize them to build their empire. That used to be the way of the world. But there's colonization where people from certain countries will go colonize a country and help them with resources, with electricity, water, and hang around a little bit and then leave. I don't think that's a bad thing. I guess it depends on how you colonize, right? But anyway, if you are going to say Roadrunner likes colonization, he wants to colonize black women, yeah, I know what they're going to say. No, I just want black women to have the best option and go where they feel loved and accepted. That's it.
The other way around.
Okay, this guy talks about colonization when it deals with Europeans. Okay.
Ever wonder why the Europeans colonized the Americas and Africa and not the other way around? Like, why didn't the Incas sail over to Spain and plant their flag? One of the most important factors was complete luck. In the history of the world, only 14 species of large mammals have ever been domesticated. 13 are native to the Eurasian continent. Africa had 0. The Americas had only 1. These species provided lots of labor, fertilizer, and food, but they also gave Europeans another huge advantage: disease. Smallpox, measles, influenza, malaria are all diseases transferred to humans living in close quarters with animals. Now, they killed a ton of Europeans, but over thousands of years, natural selection favored people with resistance. And so, by the time Europeans ventured across oceans, they had built up immunity. Africans and Native Americans had none. European diseases decimated their populations long before any fighting took place. When Francisco Pizarro arrived in Peru in 1531 with less than 200 men, smallpox had already killed up to 90% of the Incan population, making Spanish conquest much easier. Another important advantage for the Europeans was the way continents are shaped. The European landmass's horizontal structure means huge numbers of people could grow the same crops and domesticate the same animals. They could learn from each other, compete, and improve. Agricultural advancements allowed populations to boom and gave people more time to dedicate to other challenges, like how to make better tools to kill people, which the Europeans would eventually bring with them on their conquests. Meanwhile, population centers in the Americas and Africa are much more frequently aligned vertically, meaning agricultural methods differed greatly and improved more gradually. If you want to read more about this, you can check out Jared Diamond's book, Guns, Germs, and Steel. It's a fascinating examination of how human civilizations evolved and ended up the way they did.
Okay. What he's talking about colonization, okay? And in the world back in the day, colonization was a thing, okay? Men have been conquering men since the beginning of time, okay? Europeans have done it. Africans have done it. Asians have done it. Men conquer men. That's the way of the world, the way it was, okay? And it wasn't right, and it wasn't pretty. It was brutal, okay? Europeans, everybody was colonizing each other, even in Africa. Some tribes would take over other tribes, and they would take their territory. Okay, that's a form of colonization, even though it's within their continent, right? Different tribes taking over different tribes. And Native American tribes would conquer each other, and the ones that they didn't unalive, they became slaves. It was the way of the world. Slavery wasn't invented by Europeans doing slave blacks. Okay, slavery's been going on since the beginning of time. If you read in the Bible, it talks about the Egyptians enslaving the Hebrews, right? I don't know if the Egyptians were the first to do it, but they're one of the first. Okay, Europeans, they took their colonization to a whole new level. Okay, and Europe was colonizing each other. They were conquering each other. With the Romans, they conquered all of Europe. And then when they fell, Germanic tribes rised up. Spain had their day up on top. Then Germany, France, England, and Europe was just conquering each other. That was the way of the world. And the Europeans, with the colonization with each other, they developed tactics on fighting, on warfare, technology, and the Europeans took it to a global level. Okay? And was it right to colonize other countries? No, it wasn't. But everybody did it, every group. If you tell me that a country never had slaves, you're a liar. Every country did, every continent, at one time or the other. Now, was it right? No, it was evil, it was wrong. But that's what colonization was. Now, colonization could be a good thing. Like, look what we did in Panama. We went and we kind of colonized Panama for a while, built the Panama Canal, and then we left. Now they overcharge us, and when a problem happens, they need money to fix it, they come to the U.S. But that was a form of colonization, temporary colonization. But the Europeans had an advantage too, like he said, smallpox, diseases. The Black Plague in Europe took out a third of the population. But when the Europeans started going to different countries, they already developed the immunity. That's why Native Americans, when they got smallpox, they didn't have no resistance. And millions of them passed on because of it. Now, the ones that survived developed immunity, but what I'm saying is, a lot of it was conquest and power technology. A lot of it was luck. But that's in the past. Now, colonization, can it still exist? Sure. But anyway, I just wanted to show this video because it kind of explains it in a way. And what people think is colonization, like you just tear through a country and enslave the people and take everything, which did happen. But it wasn't always that way. Okay. But anyway. All right. Now, this last video, guys. Okay. This is a Black woman. She's pro-Black. Okay. And she talks about relationships with Black men and Black women and blames the white man. Okay. The colonizer. Okay. Now, let's hear what she has to say, because this is really interesting. There are a lot of Black people that believe this, that white people are just evil and they're just automatically racist and the devil and just horrible. But when she talks about this, she's not really holding the Black community accountable. Okay.
Have done such a great job.
Okay. All right. She's talking about the colonizers have done a great job breaking up the Black family. Okay, let's continue.
The colonizers have done such a great job of dividing us as Black women and Black men. from slavery to the 80s crack epidemic to now with social media, we are more divided than ever. And I pray that we can put our differences aside, heal ourselves as individuals, and come together and structure better family units moving forward. Because if we don't fix our beefs internally, then we're just going to continue this nasty narrative. And I don't see no other race grieving and like beefing publicly. I don't. So I pray that we get it together. I pray that we heal ourselves as individuals. And if we can't do it in our generation, then help the younger generation make better decisions and choices. So happy healing.
All right. Okay. This is what I would say to the young lady. First of all, young lady, okay, slavery happened. It was evil. I get it. Okay. No excuse for it. But in today's world, it's not the colonizers dividing the black community. The black community is dividing itself. Okay. What you need to do, instead of blaming white men for it, you need to hold your men accountable. Okay. Because the men in your community are not marrying you. And there's no colonizer, no white supremacist stopping black people from getting married. Okay? It's just not happening. First of all, how you become successful is when the men step up and do the right thing. Okay? And if they're not going to marry you and they're not going to take care of their families, well, it's a lost cause. And you can blame the colonizer, slavery, the drug epidemic in the 80s. But what you're not doing is holding your men accountable. And that's the problem. Because the one thing, if the men were held accountable and married you, you could develop a strong family. You could come together. But when you blame other people for what's going on in your community, well, you're never going to fix it. And I would say this young lady, you know, I'm sure she loves black men and she wants the black community to grow and be successful. And she's praying for black women and black men to come together. And I'm praying for that too. I am. Okay. But the men got to step up. The men have to have accountability. Otherwise, it ain't going to be fixed. And if you keep blaming white people, well, then it's never your fault, so you don't have to fix it. But only 27% of black women are married. 78% of black children are born out of wedlock right now. It was at 72. It's risen to 78. Okay? That's a problem. You're giving your children 2 strikes against them before they ever get in the real world. And that's the danger of being a victim. Now, I know there's racism and white people did evil things through history. I get it. But you got to live in today's world, the here and now. I mean, you can blame the colonizer. Go ahead. But how's it going to help your situation? How's that going to get the men to step out and marry the women and have families? Because in the black culture, I'm telling you, honestly, it's a train wreck. And I'm serious. And I don't think it's that black people can't be married and be successful. It's a culture just accepts degeneracy. They accept the fact that you can have children out of wedlock. And I know the white community is going down that slope too. So I'm not saying we're perfect over here, because we're not. But the men have to be accountable. And what's helping us out a little bit as white people is we're being held accountable, white men. You know, and when you call us colonizers and white supremacists and racists and fetishizers, all that does is it holds us accountable. Even if we're not guilty of that, we tend to try to do better. It kind of keeps us leveled, kind of keeps us humbled a little bit. And when you're humbled and you know you got to improve, you will improve. But when it's somebody else's fault, how can you improve? And that's the problem with white supremacy, people complaining about that. Well, you've used it so much as a security blanket where your men ain't marrying you because it's not their fault. They could be good, involved fathers without getting married. So what if they have a couple baby mamas here and there? I mean, that's the way of the world. But you will always be in last place till you fix it yourself. And nothing's going, white guilt ain't going to build up the black family. Reparations is not going to build up the black family. Even if you made every black person a millionaire, it would not fix it. It's got to come within. Women and men coming together, getting married, having families. And what would help is make the women the prize, make the women the treasure. Women aren't designed to uplift men and be the breadwinners and carry the emotional load. And no. Marriage is the key. Accountability is the key to success. But by saying the colonizers have done a great job dividing the black family, well, you're going to keep believing that and you're not going to fix it. Neither are the men in your community. I'm sorry, young lady, but that's the honest to God truth. We're not in slavery anymore. We're not in Jim Crow. I know the world's not perfect, but nobody's stopping black men and black women from getting married. Nobody is. If they are, please tell me where it's happening and I'll call 911 and we'll get a hold of the authorities. But this is becoming, you're becoming a victim. And maybe you were a victim of racism in your life. I'm not saying you're not, but when you go through life being the victim, you can never be victorious. Sometimes it's a good thing to be wrong once in a while. So you can look at yourself and say, you know what, I messed up. I need to do better. But I can see the emotions, and she probably loves the black community, black men, and probably would be a good wife to a black man. But, I mean, you got to hold men accountable, ladies. You got to. If you don't, they're going to take everything you give them. I don't care the race of the guy. If you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. And I like to believe men have character and do good. And there's a lot of good men, but really, us as men need to be held accountable. More so than women. We really do. And I'm being honest. And the black community ain't going to thrive until the black men become accountable. That's the truth. And I hope they do, because I'd rather see more married families. I'd rather see more children who have two parents. White people, really, we don't want to divide black people because we pay the price. Just like you do. More kids out of wedlock, more kids with a single parent household, more poverty, more crime. Breaking up any family don't benefit nobody. There are more marriages during slavery than today in the black community. The black community did better during Jim Crow than today, which sounds crazy because they were not given any opportunities. But when you become a victim, you're accepting defeat. When you become a victim, it's not your fault. It's somebody else's fault, i.e. the white man. Us as white people, we don't have the power to separate black people like that. It's up to you to get married and have a family. I'm just saying. I mean, and I'm not going in on this woman. I think her heart's right, but I think with the conditioning and what she's been told, she don't see what's really going on. I think that's really what's happening. But I don't know. I mean, anyway. And I'm not mad that she's blaming white people. You could do that if you want. That don't hurt my feelings. It just makes me realize your community's going nowhere. When you don't hold men accountable, they're done. I mean, men are like a wild bull. You let him out of the stable, he goes nuts and just tries to attack everything. No common sense for a minute. But when he has humility and he understands what he needs to do, he can become a good man and he can take care of his wife and children. Now I understand why my father was so hard on me and why he put the smackdown on me every time he got a chance. And I needed it. And if he didn't do that, I'd be a failure, blaming other people for my misfortunes. That's human nature. But, you know, I just like, but with this going on, I just think black women are better off opening up their options right now. I don't see no positive in the black community. I'm sorry. I try to see the positive light, and I try to look for that good black man that's doing right, like a Ben Carson or someone like that. But I'm seeing, I don't know, and even my friends and stuff, that my black friends, a lot of them are successful, but a lot of their relationships they don't take serious or something. I don't know. I don't understand it. But it's a culture. If a man can get away with sleeping with a woman without marrying her and having children, and he's not shamed for it, well, that's exactly what he's going to do. And then you get a bunch of single mothers, and that's what's happening in the black community. And newsflash, it's happening in my family. There's women in my family that are single mothers, not getting married. It's happening all over. Now, the black community, it's happening at a much faster rate than everybody else, but we're all going downhill. And my thing is, it's not about race no more. It's not about, we got to get out of that segregated mindset and choose the best option. I tell my friends, and they say, wow, man, we didn't think your marriage was going to last because you like black women. We thought that was kind of strange. Well, look, I have the most successful marriage within my peers. I don't even know one white guy that's got a longer marriage than me. Except my father. I mean, I just... And people thought my marriage was going to fail. But when you look at the numbers, white men that marry black women do very well. I mean, I'm telling you, black women are amazing. And we need to see black women for who they are and how amazing they are. And I say this and I preach this, and people say, oh, you're just love bombing black women. You're just pandering to it. No, I'm not. I'm telling the truth. There's nothing a black woman could give me. I got my wife. I have my family. But the thing is I have love for black women because I see them struggling. I see black women pouring their heart in their relationships. And I have compassion. Because there are black women along my life that had compassion for me. And I see the nonsense. I mean, and I see black women hurting. This young lady we show, she's pro-black, and she'll be there for her king, and she kind of looks like the woman king, you put a crown on her, she looked like that, and pro-black, and she probably loves the community and looking for that good man to come through. And is he? I wonder what this young lady will say 10, 20 years down the road. I mean, and it's ironic. Whoever thought black women and white men would have the most successful marriage? Aren't we supposed to be so different? We don't look alike. Our cultures are so different. We don't understand each other. No. Actually, we come together because we're used to putting in the work. And when we show love for each other, we really appreciate it. No one appreciates you more than a black woman does. White women ain't going to show you love like a black woman does. Because she's used to being pampered and taken care of. And us as white men, we put women on a pedestal. That's what we do. And people say, wow, you put black women on a pedestal. Why do you do? That's my nature. That's how I've been raised. That's how I've been conditioned. That's how we've been raised for centuries. The women are the prize in our community. So when I'm with a black woman, she's going to get the same treatment as Becky has gotten for thousands of years. But yet, the black woman appreciates it a lot more and gives back. I mean, it's a no-brainer why black women are my preference. I just can't understand why other people don't see it. Are they just dumb? Do they not see the truth? Are they just like the zombies, like the Walking Dead? Just, I'll just do what everybody else does. She looks like me. She's got to be a good choice. And then you got the black community. Oh, slavery happened, so we got to be victims the rest of our life. Oh my God. Jim Crow happened. I stubbed my toe. It's got to be white supremacy. And then white people walking around can't stand up and say, oh, white guilt. Yeah, we did that. I'm so sorry. Oh, God, I hate myself. Oh, let me go hit the wall. I mean, come on. I don't feel guilty for slavery or Jim Crow because I had nothing to do with that. I feel guilty for what I've done in my life. Now, the history of it, I do feel shame for it. It's shameful. It's horrible. There's nothing good that happened. But I'm not going to sit, roll around in guilt and, call myself the oppressor the rest of them. No, I got too much to live for. Life is too short. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be, I'm going to live my life the way I want to. And yeah, with the black woman. I mean, we need to get out of the segregated mindset. And we need to come together as a country. We ain't got time to be victims and oppressors. We got to come together. And if that means we all become biracial, so be it. Maybe that's what we need in our country. I don't know. I thought about that. People say, well, you're crazy. That ain't never going to happen. Oh, yeah? How many black men are with white women and Asian How many white guys are running over to Asian women now? How many more white guys are with black women, huh? People don't see what's going on? They say white people are dying out. No, they're just getting darker. And black people are getting lighter. We're coming together, whether you like it or not. So you pro-black or pro-white or whatever, those days are gone. And they're going fast. And they need to. They say, why buy the cow when you can get the milk free? Yeah, that's what it is. Why do men get married? They can have sex with women all the time. Why marry her? You could. Now that's stupid to think that way, but a lot of guys think that way. Why marry her when I could just live with her and when I get tired, bounce? Well, that's good. Now your children, they don't know where you're at because you're with another woman having children over there, and now got all single mothers out here trying to make ends meet, and guys that aren't responsible. Well, we accept it. Oh, well, that marriage is a piece of paper as long as they stay together and love the children. Yeah, that works. Then he gets tired of you and he goes somewhere else. Guess what? You're holding the bag. Anyway, let me stop. I'm getting carried away. Okay? Now, some people, maybe that's a little much I did with the pro-black picture, but I don't care. People show pictures of me and my wife with 3 Ks across it, so I don't feel bad for them in that picture. Actually, the guy looks kind of like Tupac in a way, right? I have more respect for Tupac than Umar Johnson. I'm just saying. I think Tupac was a dusty guy too, but you guys think I should change the picture? Maybe put a little more professional in the pro-black sector? Look, the black community, it's up to the black man. He can fix it. But it's going to take humility. It's going to take accountability. Now, us as men, we all need to fix our communities. I can point the finger, but it comes back at me, right? But quit being a victim. Victimhood only makes you feel comfortable in your failure. An excuse only pats you on the back as you go over the wall. That's all it does. Being a victim says, hey, it's somebody else's fault. So as I fell and hit the wall, at least it wasn't my fault. That's all it does. Anyway. I'm sorry, guys. I get carried away, but that's just my passion. Us as men, we can do better. And we need to do better. And we need to stop treating women like they're indentured servants and treat them like ladies, like women. Like a beautiful treasure she is. Especially black women. We need to give black women love and respect. I think as a nation, we need to do that. Because black women have been through the ringer and black women have been so resilient and have adapted and overcame. I tell you that what makes black women so attractive is their love, what's in their heart. Black women are resilient. And when a black woman loves you, she just all into you. Like it's like she becomes a part of you, like you're actually really becoming one. Your goals, the things you want in life becomes her goals. I've never seen any woman on earth like the black woman. I haven't. But yet, black women are the most disrespected. I look on YouTube and I see men just trashing black women. And black men are doing it like that's the women in your community. I mean, you can have a preference for a white woman or Asian, whatever you like, but still black women love and respect. They raised you, they took care of you. A lot of times she was a single mother that made sure you ate while she went without a meal. I tell you what, though. There's no other woman I'd ever be with the black woman. And I know that sounds bad because there's good women in every group, yes. But there's no one like the black woman. And I got to be honest. You can call me biased, you can call me whatever. And some will say, oh, the fetish. Okay, take 30 years of marriage. I think some of these clowns don't even know what the definition of a fetish is. They just say it. Back in the 80s, my mom used to say, wow, I see what she's preaching back in the 80s. What's that? My mom used to say that black women, white men would have the best marriages ever. Yeah, we do. You know why? You know why black women, white men have the most successful marriage? It's because we appreciate each other. We embrace the love we get from each other. And I think black women, white men don't expect each other to like them or love them. And I think when we get that love, it's like we really appreciate it. And we want to give that love back. It's like two people just pouring all their love into each other. And that ain't every black woman, white man couple, but it's a lot of us, really. I tell you, when I married my wife, that's the greatest day of my life. I don't ever think about what she could give me. I just want to give her everything. And in turn, she's doing that for me. And it's like two positives coming together. And it's like the electricity just keeps multiplying and growing, and the power just gets bigger and bigger. And nobody will understand that until you feel the love of a black woman. Because I tell you, white men that are married to black women, they understand exactly what I'm talking about. They understand what I'm saying. They understand why our marriages last so long. And you know what? I look back, and there were people that said, don't marry that black woman. It's not going to turn out good. And I was like, no, I love her. I'm going to marry her. And you know, the amazing thing is, and I come from humble beginnings. I've shared to you my education level after high school, right? But I invested in the black woman. And my wife's educated, right? And I've been attracted to black women that are educated, right? It's something about it. And I wanted to be like that. And with my wife, I did better, and I started going to college, and I started being successful in my life for the first time. And the Army was amazing. The position I was put into, how it worked out. And I look at my peers from high school and they're like, wow, you're doing pretty good. How did you do it? We thought you were going nowhere fast because you were crazy and you weren't into school and I tell them I invested in the black woman. And you know what? My wife didn't take care of me financially. And I always paid the bills. I always earned the paycheck. But what she did to me is she brought out the best in me. And I'm doing better than my peers in marriage, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Now, I do have my physical problems because of the army and what I was exposed to. But, I mean, when it comes to love and marriage, I'm most successful. Financially, I'm doing better than my peers. It ain't because I did anything wonderful. It's because I invested in the black woman. I took my Swirl to investment. Instead of being jealous of what she had, I thought it was beautiful. It was attractive. I embraced her. And it motivated me to be what she's at. And I know that sounds crazy because I always preach that men, you're with the women where your level is at. Now, both me and my wife are middle class. So financially, you know, where we live, we were equal, but her education was much better than mine. But it was attracted to me. It was a beautiful thing. I never was jealous of her. I thought, wow, black women are amazing. And then when I wanted to do better, she poured love into me and I did better. And it goes back and forth. And that's what a marriage is both people benefiting from marriage. Both the man and woman should benefit from marriage, not just one person. This crap of what you bring to the table, come on now. Us as men, we should only care about love and loyalty. She's got to love us. We got to have love. She's got to be loyal. Okay, you can't be in a relationship if you don't have love and loyalty. But once she gives you that, what else you need? Oh, well, I don't make that much. I might have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Oh, well, welcome to manhood. I struggled when we first got married because I was young. I had, you know, and when I was in the army, you know, I'm a private. I'm not making much money, so I didn't have a lot. But I had to work and get better. And along the way, it got better, a little better, a little better, a little better. Now I look back and like, wow. I told my wife, I said, I wish we were financially set back then like we are now. But that's not God's plan. We got to struggle through. Taught us how to manage money. It taught us how, you know, not to take things for granted. But anyway, I don't want to talk about me all night, but I just, but what category do you belong to? Okay. And all of these categories, I got friends in all these categories, right? I got friends that swirl. I got friends that are pro-black. I do. I got a lot of friends that are divested. I love divestment, and I think black women should be able to do that. Swirl to investment. I got a lot of friends that took their swirl to investment. Okay. I do not hate nobody. Okay. I don't think I'm better than nobody. I don't. Okay. I'm not above anybody, but I'm not below anybody either. I'm just a man in this world trying to make his way. And the best thing I ever did was investing in the black woman. The best thing I ever did is taking my Swirl to investment. And I tell the world that. And I tell you, I have a lot of love and respect for black women. Black women have been a blessing to me. And I feel bad when I see black women hurting, because I understand from the black women I've been around the hurt they go through, what they've told me, what they told my wife, how much they have love they have in their heart. Why black women sometimes get emotional and might even get loud. It's because they have a big heart. There's a lot of love and a lot of emotions in there. And I get it. And then I look at the numbers and say, wow, us white men do better with black women. Who would ever thought? There was never a doubt in my mind. I always thought that. I told people, I said, okay, you laugh at me, but I'm gonna be married forever. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, just wait till your culture clash and you get sick of each other. Okay. Guy that told me that's been married 4 times. He stayed race loyal. I invested in the black woman. Yeah, laugh at me then. Who's laughing now? But anyway, I don't wish nobody any bad luck in marriage. I want everybody to be successful. I think every human being has the right to be with someone they love, and vice versa. You know, if you want marriage, I think anybody that wants a family and marriage should have it. You know, unfortunately, we got to vet people. We got to have our standards. Ladies, you got to hold men accountable now more than ever. And I know it's hard because you get lonely, right? And guys too, you get lonely, right? You got to have your standards. I tell you, you have your standards, it'll work out. But anyway, all right, I'm going to go ahead and close this. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Okay. I hope those of you that are looking for that special guy, special woman, I hope you find that. Okay. White men, and I'm speaking to white men, listen to me. Okay. There's a hidden treasure out there. Okay. It is 7% of our population. It's a black woman. There is no other woman like a black woman. If she loves you, she'll do anything for you. She'll be there for you. But you have to be a good man and you have to do the right thing. And if you're looking for black women because you got a sexual desire or you want to see what it's like, leave them alone. Okay? Don't do that. But if you truly love black women and you think they're amazing and you want a relationship, you want marriage, I'd say look at the black woman. Get to know the black woman. Love her. Respect her. I guarantee you love and respect the black woman, you're going to get it back. Okay? Black women are amazing. They show us love. They're always there for us. Okay, they do more than they're supposed to. Okay? I want to make that clear. Okay? And that's the character of a black woman. There's no other woman that's more beautiful, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally. Also, there's no other woman that has more character than the black woman. And once you see that, and she touches your heart, I guarantee you ain't going back. Once a black woman touches your heart, it belongs to her. And I'm serious. But you got to have the courage to approach her, to express your love to her, and to stand up for her. And that's another thing. If you can't stand up for the black woman and you're afraid of being called a racist because you hold a black man in check that does wrong to a black woman, well, you don't need to be with the black woman. Okay? You got to put her first. Above family, friends, everybody. If you can do that and you truly love the black woman with a pure heart, I say go for it. And I would say to black women, have your standards. There are good white men out there. There's quite a few of them that will love you and do you right. Okay? But be careful, because there are them powdered donut dusty jackasses out there that will exploit you. Dust comes in all colors. Always remember that. Have your standards. Be careful. All right? But guys, you have a good Saturday night. Thanks for coming. Indiana Mom, it's good to see you. Beverly, good to see you, young lady. Cece, KP, good to see you, young lady. Kathleen King, good to see you. Diamond Lace, good to see you. Noletti, Cece. Make sure I got everybody. Victorious One, good to see you. Who else? Adriana Monette, good to see you. Rodney Dunnigan, good to see you, young lady. Let's see, who else? I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. Winnie, good to see you, Winnie. Dust Divester, good to see you. Pinky Wells, good to see you, young lady. Okay, I think I got everybody in the chat. If I missed you, I apologize. It wasn't on purpose. I think I got everybody. But I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, the videos. And the thing with TikTok, I hope they don't take it away, because I like watching it. I haven't posted any videos in a long time. I guess I should. Just so busy. But I use a lot of videos from TikTok, to get different people's perspective. So I'm hoping that don't go away. I hope they save it somehow. But I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, also, big prayers for the people in California. The wildfires, okay? A lot of people lost their homes, okay? And look, a lot of them didn't have insurance because they dropped the wildfire insurance because it happens so much in California. So, some people could be losing everything. And say a big prayer for them, because I don't know about you, but my home is like my special place. It's where me and my wife live, and and our family comes and stays with us every now and then. This is and if we were to lose it, it'd be devastating. So think about that. People in California, lost their homes, and then they got to deal with people trying to loot their homes while they burn down. Yeah. Swirl to investment to explore my options. I'm not taking care of no one, son, but my own and my amen. Okay. You got the last laugh. I did. People like, oh, it ain't going to work. Brent's crazy. He just got to be with a black woman. What's he doing? Now they understand. Yeah. Now they know. Good night, Nolete. Good night, Beverly. Indiana mom. Good night, ladies. Pray for the wildfires. Also, I didn't mention this and I should have. And I don't know, it's behind the the power curve here, but as you all know, we lost our 39th president, Jimmy Carter. Regardless of what your political views are, I think he was a good man. He loved his country. He always had a smile, and I think he generally had a good heart. But he lived to be 100 years old, and that's amazing. But and presidents are old. We're going through time. We'll see the presidents now pass on. But people are living longer because of, we're not eating healthier, but our medication's keeping us alive, I guess. But I just wanted to say that. But really pray for the people in California, because and through that area is really beautiful. Going through Pacific Coast Highway, and I love California. If I could afford it, I'd live there, but it's way too expensive. And then too many natural disasters happening there. I don't know. I love to visit there though. Got family there, but I don't know. I just guess I'll stay in my desert, and cost of living's not that bad here. So good night all. Good show as you. Oh, thanks, Beverly. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and close out, but thank you guys for being a part of this show. Thank you for supporting this channel, and please give me your feedback. This show was I off on something? Was I on point? I take constructive criticism. Let me know. All I ask is you send me an email, okay? I don't like criticism within the comment section, because sometimes we might not understand each other, and I just don't like to portray a weakness within. I know sometimes we have conflict within the channel, and I try not to, but we're people. Okay, I might sometimes in the past I said something that triggered somebody, and a lot of times they didn't understand what I was talking about, misunderstanding. Or maybe I just said something wrong. There's been times I was like, okay, I shouldn't have said that. I was wrong. And I might not see it till later, but we're human, and I try to be as honest with you as I can. Some people tell me, you shouldn't be so honest, Roadrunner. They don't need to know that about you. But why hide it? Some people say, why'd you have to tell people your reading level when you graduated? People make fun of you and take it as a weakness. I don't care. I feel I need to be honest with you and show you I'm human. I have my faults. There's things I need to work on. And I hope people will see that, like, okay. And someone struggling with what I used to struggle with, they'll look, well, if he could do it, I could do it. Does that make sense? And I've always found when you are honest with people and you have some humility, it goes a long way. And it makes you better for it, you know? And I've just been raised to be humble, and it's not low self-esteem. It just you're being real with yourself. You say, okay, because I'm confident, when I go to work, I know I'm gonna do a good job, but I'm humble enough to know that I am human and I can make a mistake. That I need to keep my eye on the ball and I need to make sure I'm doing the right thing, right? That's all that is. You can be confident and humbled. You don't have to have a outrageous ego to be successful. In fact, that's a lot of times the opposite. People with big heads fall. But anyway, you guys have a good night. I'll see you next Sunday for sure. But you guys have a good night. Thank you for your support. And remember, ladies, Black women, you are the best and you deserve the best. Okay? Make sure you get the best, whatever color that is. Okay? Do what's best for you, ladies. Don't let your beauty and your character go to a man that don't deserve it. Okay? You have value. You have Black women, you're unique in so many ways. Your beauty goes beyond the physical. It goes internal within your heart, within your spirituality, within the love you have. Embrace that. Embrace yourself and do what's best for you. Okay? You don't owe nobody nothing. You don't. Okay? Put yourself first. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Well, I'll cut the live a little too late. Oh, in London? Okay. Well, catch the replay. I go on Saturdays about 10 o'clock Eastern time, around there. Sometimes I'll go earlier, but around 10 or 8 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know what that is in the UK, but I know our time difference is quite a bit. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I thank you for that. No, anyway, guys, let me go ahead and say good night. You guys have a good night. Happy Saturday. Open up your options. Do what's best for you. Have a good night. Swirl to investment. God bless. Always close with a prayer. Okay. No, I guess I could. I always close the prayer meeting with a prayer. I'll close with a prayer. All right, Lord, if you bow your head and pray with me. Lord, thank you for tonight. Thank you for everybody that supports this channel, Lord. And please, as I go forward, please let me be accurate with what I say, Lord. And please help me to put forward the data and have the courage to stand up for the truth and what's right, Lord. And please help me to stand up for interracial relationships. And Lord, please help me to have the courage to stand up for Black women and tell the truth, regardless of the attacks that I will get. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. I said a prayer. All right. Always close with a prayer. That's sweet. Okay, guys. You have a good night. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Have a good night. God bless. Swirl to investment. See you Saturday.